They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Just when it seemed like the WNBA was finally getting its act together, poised to ride the Caitlin Clark rocket ship to new levels of relevance and serious revenue, they stumbled in the most ironic way possible. And that stumble? It came courtesy of Caitlin Clark herself. The league's one-woman ratings powerhouse, the player driving record-breaking attendance, TV ratings, and merchandise sales, has now landed on the injury list, leaving fans and executives alike staring at an unexpected roadblock in the middle of their golden moment.
The Indiana Fever announced that star Caitlin Clark will be out at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. Clark reported some pain in her leg Saturday after the team's loss to the New York Liberty. She subsequently underwent an MRI and was diagnosed with the strain on Monday.
The Indiana Fever have announced that star Caitlin Clark will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. Clark reported leg pain on Saturday following the team's loss to the New York Liberty, and an MRI on Monday confirmed the injury. Now, basketball fans are in full meltdown mode. Talk shows are spiraling, and Stephen A. Smith is practically levitating with outrage, targeting the WNBA, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, and, of course, Angel Reese, who still seems to think the spotlight is on her. If you agree with Stephen A., drop baby goat over baby giraffe in the comments below. Let's go.
Was the WNBA's Rookie of the Year last season and a first-team All-WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points and a league-leading 9.3 assists through 4 games this season. I could give a damn about that last part. I don't care about her leading the league in assists. I don't care about the points that she's averaging because I already know that the young lady can ball. She is special. What I'm interested in is what somebody tweeted me and asked about earlier today that I want to show you right now. Put this tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I, right? Stephen A. Smith, can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out?
Caitlin Clark, the very player who transformed women's basketball from a niche spectacle into must-see TV, is now sidelined with a quad strain for at least 2 weeks. That's too long. Clark-less weeks during which the WNBA will try its best to pretend everything is fine, even as the actual product risks collapsing faster than an Angel Reese layup. Imagine it. The league's brightest star sitting in street clothes while TV ratings start sinking like a rock in a kiddie pool.
Unfortunately, though, the celebration in the WNBA, it was cut short yesterday afternoon as WNBA players learned the harsh lesson: be careful what you wish for. Headline at the New York Post: Caitlin Clark sidelined with Indiana Felines announcing shock injury. Keyword: shock. This injury was shocking, but not for reasons that you may think.
And naturally, the first person to blow a gasket over this is Stephen A. Smith. ESPN's resident hype machine didn't just weigh in. He went full DEFCON 1. While other voices in the league offered polite shrugs and careful diplomacy, Stephen A. came in like a human Molotov, torching every bad take and questionable decision that led to this moment. And let's be honest, someone had to do it. Everyone else is out here whispering sweet nothings, pretending that Caitlin Clark isn't the reason their direct deposit even hits on time.
Fanatics also reported a 100% increase in sales for WNBA-specific merchandise. It started with Caitlin Clark. And so now that we know all of this, and we've known that for months, now we get to turn around and look and see what exactly is it that the league will do knowing that she's out for the next 2 weeks. I'm not saying I know for sure what's going to happen, but I have an idea.
This man didn't just speak up. He held court like someone who'd been waiting months for the perfect chance to dunk on the league's ineptitude. While WNBA executives were off pretending Caitlin Clark isn't the one keeping the lights on, Stephen A. was busy dropping receipts left and right. He laid it out so clearly, it was like watching math class with fireworks. "Oh, you think the league can survive without Caitlin Clark?" he basically asked. "Cool story, bro, check the numbers. And try not to cry."
Indiana led the league in attendance both at home and on the road. The Fever averaged 17,035 fans at home and over 15,000 on the road. 4 teams moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. That's about Caitlin Clark. How do we know this? Attendance for the entire league was up nearly 50% last year. According to data from across the timeline, and Indiana led all teams with an average attendance of 17,035. That was up 319% from the year earlier.
Let's break those numbers down. This year, Caitlin Clark's games are drawing an average of 1.178 million viewers. When she's out, that number drops to just 394,000. That's not a simple decline. It's a full-on plunge off a cliff, a threefold crater in viewership. And yet, you still have players like Angel Reese wondering why Clark gets more camera time. Maybe it's because Caitlin actually plays basketball instead of treating the ball like a bowling pin and, makes people actually want to watch.
Interested in seeing, Molly, what kind of effect this has on the WNBA's ratings, because if for some reason there is a precipitous drop-off, then everybody needs to stand down and recognize the fact that the speculation or the assertions and assumptions about her being the golden goose is validated.
Stephen A. didn't just wake up mad. This was the boiling over of months watching the WNBA fumble every golden opportunity. He's seen Cheryl Swoops throwing more shade than a beach umbrella, as if Clark wasn't single-handedly dragging the entire league into the spotlight. And, of course, Angel Reese couldn't resist turning every moment into her personal audition for America's next jealous teammate.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Then there's Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, whose entire Clark-related strategy could be summed up as, thanks for the ratings. I guess it's like finding a genie in a bottle and wishing for a slightly bigger bottle. Now, with Clark sidelined, Stephen A. is basically yelling, "I told you so," from the rooftops, and honestly, he's earned every word.
Notice when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
He even dropped some classic Stephen A. wisdom, saying, "If this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence proves it, then everyone needs to stand down and ride the wave." Translation: stop resisting. Caitlin Clark is the show. Either get on board or get left behind, sitting in half-empty arenas while confused fans wonder where all the buzz went.
Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things. 6 different league television partners. This is last year. This is last season, because this is Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. 6 different league television partners set viewership records that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever?
Let's rewind, because the build-up to this disaster has been a masterclass in league mismanagement. Caitlin Clark's first game this year against the Sky drew a record-setting 2.7 million viewers, the highest-rated WNBA game ever on ESPN. A debut so massive even the NBA had to take notice. And make no mistake, that wasn't a fluke. That was the arrival of a generational star, one who came loaded with receipts, record-breaking viewers, skyrocketing jersey sales, and more attention than half the league combined. So, what did the WNBA do? Shower her with praise? Launch a full-scale marketing blitz? Nope. Instead, we got press releases so generic they might as well have been written by Angel Reese herself. It was as if the league was scared to admit that one player was doing more for the brand than a decade of group effort.
Lifts all boats. And if this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence over the next 2 weeks to that due to that quad strain is providing further evidence of that, then everybody needs to accept it, stand down, and ride that wave. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how the ratings are going to look without her over the next 2 weeks. Let's make sure we come back and ask me this exact same question after she's been gone for those 2 weeks.
Stephen A. was watching it all unfold. Caitlin Clark's star soaring while the league quietly downplayed her, and the veterans side-eyeing her like she'd stolen the last slice of pizza. And now the WNBA is in full panic mode, scrambling to fill the void left by the only player who can pull an extra million eyeballs simply by tying her shoes. That's the point. Caitlin Clark wasn't just another top draft pick. She was the league's lottery ticket. And instead of celebrating it, they tried to downplay it. Now the ticket's temporarily out of circulation, and suddenly everyone is realizing exactly what she's worth. Meanwhile, Stephen A. is sitting back like, I've been telling y'all, you can't build a castle and then act surprised when the queen moves in.
You know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here. And y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Bottom line, the WNBA had a golden goose, and they treated her like an ordinary bird. Stephen A. isn't just angry. He's delivering the reality check the league desperately needs. Caitlin Clark is the draw, the face, the reason sponsors are calling. If she isn't protected, appreciated, and elevated, the league won't just lose a player. It will lose its moment. Stephen A. Smith has been the lone voice of reason in a room full of noise when it comes to Clark. While others tiptoe around egos and cling to outdated narratives, Stephen has been calling it like it is. From the moment Clark stepped onto a WNBA court, bringing with her unprecedented attention, ticket sales, and viewership, he has been her loudest supporter. Why? Because unlike the jealous murmurs from some ex-players who treat Clark's success as a personal slight, Stephen recognizes real value when he sees it. There is genuine resentment out there, he said, and boy, has that resentment become painfully obvious.
Look, I think Stephen A. is 100% correct on this. At the end of the day, you already see people actually saying, hey, I'm not watching for 2 weeks. I'm not tuning in for 2 weeks. And it's really bad news for the Mystics and the Sky because both of those teams moved those games to big arenas. So it's like now that she's not playing, what is that attendance going to look like? The viewership, right? The viewership is going to plummet. I already know because majority of the people that's watching the Indiana Fever wants to see Caitlin Clark. And sad to say it, a lot of them only want to see Caitlin Clark. They don't really care about the entire team.
Now the prophecy is unfolding right before our eyes. Clark isn't sitting out some throwaway Tuesday night game against a forgettable opponent. She's missing marquee matchups, the kind of games that make ESPN drool. Her highly anticipated rematch with Angel Reese? Gone. Multiple primetime national broadcasts? Kaput. The financial hit is immediate and brutal. This isn't just Indiana missing a star player. This is the WNBA losing its entire gravitational pull. Clark isn't just scoring points. She's the reason fans show up to arenas, turn on their TVs, and buy those overpriced jerseys. Take her out of the equation, and suddenly the Indiana Fever look like every other team scrambling to stay relevant.
Everybody was moving Caitlin Clark games to bigger facilities because everyone was selling tickets. There were ratings. It was a ratings bonanza. Now with Caitlin Clark not playing, what do? Well, when you change your situs, guess what? You can't change it back.
Yep. The tickets are literally half the price, and there are entire sections of the stadium that have not sold any tickets.
But what's really got Stephen A. fuming, what has him absolutely boiling, is that this was completely avoidable. Sure, injuries happen in sports, but when a league lets its most valuable player get slammed, hacked, elbowed, and borderline assaulted night after night with zero consequences, that's not chance. That's negligence. The hits Clark has taken this season wouldn't look out of place in an NFL highlight reel. And yet, the WNBA's response? Shrug it off. Part of the game, they say. Meanwhile, Stephen's probably at home breaking a remote and screaming, "Protect her." And who could blame him? He's watching the one player keeping the league afloat being treated like just another newcomer instead of the generational star she is. It's not just disappointing, it's malpractice.
2.2 million average viewers tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark and the Fever take on the Liberty.
Peaking at 3.2 million viewers is crazy for the WNBA, even for the Fever.
Became the 6th most watched WNBA regular season or playoff game.
And here's the kicker. The numbers back it all up. Even in a recent loss to the Liberty, yes, a loss, Clark still managed to draw 2.22 million viewers on CBS, the second highest WNBA rating ever on the network. That kind of pull during a regular season game? Unheard of. But without her, those numbers are about to plummet. Picture the marketing execs trying to pitch ad space now. Well, we had 2 million viewers, but our stars sidelined. Sponsors are watching. Networks are watching. Everyone knows what's coming. And so does Stephen A., who's already stacked the receipts for the inevitable ratings collapse. And, of course, he's going to remind the WNBA of it every step of the way.
She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had.
But what makes this sting even more is that it didn't have to be this way. From day one, it was clear Caitlin Clark is the engine driving the entire operation. Things could have been so different if the league had simply acknowledged that. Instead, they downplayed her rise, acted like her success was a fluke, or worse, something to be embarrassed about, while Clark packed arenas, boosted ratings, and changed the perception of women's basketball almost overnight. Now that she's out, all the people who scoffed at her impact are about to learn the hard way just how wrong they were.
Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
Clark wasn't just good for the league. She was revolutionizing it. Fans who had never given the WNBA a second thought were suddenly tuning in. Entire families planned summer vacations around Fever games. But now, with her sidelined, many of those same fans are already checking out. Stephen A. gets it. He sees what's really at stake. This isn't about a twisted ankle or a pulled muscle. It's about whether the league is savvy enough to recognize and nurture a once-in-a-generation star before it's too late. Stephen knows what WNBA leadership refuses to admit. Clark is the linchpin between the league's struggling past and its potentially explosive future. Without her, they're back to begging networks for airtime and hoping someone shows up to the games. Clark isn't just a player. She's a walking marketing campaign, a highlight reel, a franchise in sneakers. And now she's out, temporarily closing the bridge she built between women's basketball and the mainstream. That's not just a setback. It's a full-blown crisis.
You literally cannot make this up. When she's not playing, ticket prices, merchandise sales plummet. Viewership declines when she is not suited up in uniform. The numbers do not lie, guys. Caitlin Clark is the biggest box office attraction in the WNBA, period. Facts over feeling.
And let's be real, this could all have been prevented. With the way Clark's been targeted, cheap shots, flagrant fouls, borderline assaults, you'd think the league would step in to protect its biggest asset. But they didn't. They let her take hit after hit while hiding behind vague statements and toothless penalties. Now Stephen A. is standing tall, bullhorn in hand, shouting, "I told you so." Meanwhile, the league scrambles to do damage control, and Clark's fan base is furious. Many are already pledging to boycott games until she returns. Social media is flooded with posts from fans declaring they won't watch another second of WNBA basketball without her. And who can blame them? If you started watching because of Caitlin Clark, why stick around when she's not there? Watching a WNBA game without Clark is like ordering pizza and getting handed a salad. The excitement's gone. The flavor's gone. The thing that made it special isn't there anymore.
Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things. 6 different league television partners. This is last year. This is last season. Because this is the Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. 6 different league television partners set viewership records that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever?
So now Stephen A. Smith, the only one with the guts to say what everyone else is thinking, is waiting. Waiting for the next batch of ratings to roll in. And when they tank, because of course they will, he'll be ready with the numbers, the commentary, and the sass to remind the league that this mess is one they created. When you ignore your biggest star, let her take hits like a crash test dummy, and act like everything's fine, the fallout is on you. The WNBA had lightning in a bottle, and Caitlin Clark was that lightning. Now that she's sidelined, the storm is rolling in. The next few weeks won't just prove Stephen A. right. They'll define what kind of league the WNBA wants to be, one that protects and uplifts its stars, or one that watches them walk away while it still has a chance to save the game. If you agree with Stephen A., drop baby goat over baby giraffe in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.